Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy HB Clips, aka Pretty Boy Ray. You feel me? And today I got a very special video for y'all. I'm pretty sure I've done this once before. Words hard, I know. I've done this one before, once before. Yes, once before, where I did a book reaction. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I did a book review on The Power of Now. And I don't know if y'all really like this type of content, but it's just reading has been something I've been getting into recently. So it is a video I decided to do for today because I just finished this book right here. It's called The Man, The Moment, Demands by Jason Wilson. Master the 10 characteristics of the comprehensive man. And the reason why I found this book so special to me, I'm not gonna lie, is because I feel like we live in an era where like all this red pill BS and all this, where people go to the wrong places for masculine advice. Like you got the youth going to these red pill spaces, and you got them believing that women are some evil objects that people should take advantage of, feeling like they're above of them or like that it is incapable to find a good woman. Now, don't get me wrong, there are bad women, there are good women, there are bad men, there's good men. Everything in life has positives and negatives, whether we like to believe it or not. Even water, if you drink too much water, you flush out all the salt from your body and you could die, literally. And water is like one of the healthiest things. Is like our body is made up of, let me just confirm, percent of humans body is water. Boom, about 50 to 60% of our bodies is made up of water. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But that's besides the point. So the reason why I picked up this book is because originally I had saw a podcast with Jason Wilson and let me pull that up real quick with Mel Robbins. Let me put that up on a screen real quick. You feel me? This interview right here, and this interview right here, he was basically talking about how like men suffer in silence because men believe that they can't let out their emotion. Now, y'all probably heard this 1,000 times, but if I was to get a cup right now and fill it with water to the tippity top, and then continue pouring into it, what's gonna happen? Things go overflow. So it's like men are always seeing it portray themselves as violent or aggressive beings because of the fact that we bottle things up and we don't really know how to express ourselves. Now, me ever since a youth, since a youth, since a jit, since a youngin, whatever you want to call it, I've always been like in tap with that emotional side of me. So like, I saw that podcast and I was like, oh, this is intriguing. Like this is interesting me. You feel me, dude? This is intriguing. But I ended up buying the book, and basically the book is basically going through step by step on the qualities of what a man is and how to carry yourself as a man while not holding yourself back to your full potential. Because if you really think about it, yes, we have the masculine side, but we also have a feminine side, whether or not y'all want to hear it. And it's kind of like he is making a guideline on how to optimize yourself as a person, not just as a man, but as a human being. And he uses a lot of examples from like religious texts and all this to even outline like, look, in religious text it says this. So if y'all religious, then that's more reason I feel like it should be good. And even if you're not religious, I feel like you should give the book a chance, because even the world's like in most intelligent atheists, or like the atheist leaders, I guess, they acknowledge, like, for example, religious text has a lot of morality in it, and the morals in it cannot be denied, whether or not you believe in Jesus, God, Allah, Buddha, Avatar, I think is another one. It's basically just like the morality of it. It just makes sense. So let me open up the book a little bit real quick, because I'm not gonna lie, there's no way I was remembering everything I wanted to talk about. But once I get so it's like he even like describes it in different, like, I believe it's 10 different like characteristics. So the fighter, the provider, the leader, the lover, the nurturer, the gentleman, the friend, the husband, the father, and the son. So basically, when it comes to, like, for example, being a fighter, it's about knowing when to choose your battles. When is a battle worth it? When is a battle not even worth it? Like, there's some battles where you don't even have to lose your life over, and there's some battles where it's like our egos get in the way, and Edge just to be like, nah, we got to be the aggressor because you're a man, and if you let this slide, then you're less of a man. But sometimes, if you really go through and look back, a lot of times you usually regret reacting that way or going through with that fight or that action, because like we said, like, we're human, and we could choose to see things from all angles and try to understand the people around us. Because think about it like this: if you're carrying yourself like, I gotta be the aggressor because I'm a man, everybody else is also gonna carry themselves that way. So sometimes if you come from a place of love, you could diffuse situations that don't gotta get to that level, or are not that serious at the end of the day. Like, it's just gonna be a fleeting moment in your mind. And I feel like that's one of the heavy parts that I feel like a lot of people could take from, because a lot of people think like take disrespect too serious. And the book also says, don't mean allow anybody to disrespect you, but you also gotta gauge the situation from not only the perspective of aggression but of love. And if y'all believe in the Bible, like, carry yourself with love. Like, everything you do it with love. You feel me? The provider. So the provider is like, yeah, like, we as men, we are seen as kind of the provider figure in most things. Like, for example, your wives, your kids, sometimes even your parents. But it's about knowing how to carry it. Just because you're the provider doesn't mean you have to kill yourself providing. It is always important to take that moment of rest and rejuvenate your battery, because at the end of the day, it's like, for example, if you, let's say you playing a video game, right? And you're an amazing player in the game. You drop like 20 kills or something on a Call of Duty match, 30 kills a game, whatever. If your controller dies, you can't drop those 30 kills. If your controller dies in the middle of the game, if you're on Xbox and you don't got no batteries around, like, that's it. The game is thrown. Like, you're at the bottom of the leaderboard. If you got a PlayStation controller, you might have to move up to your console to plug in your control, play from up close, or switch controllers, or whatever you got to do. But the point of it is just like continuously recharge yourself. You feel me? Next one is the leader. Take everything you learn in life and spread that knowledge. And also, one of the main points that I want to take from that leader chapter was, it was saying, in being the leader, you also got to take into account the position of the people that are following you. So, like, for example, Jesus had his disciples, and he would occasionally, or all the time, I'm not sure on the logistics on that, wash the feet of his disciples. And that was just to get into their shoes and, like, really see, like, show them, like, yes, I may be leading y'all, but, like, y'all are with me. Like, we're a one unit. Like, this is not me saying I'm better than you. This is not, like, it's like, humble yourself to the people that you are leading, because that's how you build a strong foundation, strong connections, and a strong team. Boom. Now the next The next four I could low key group into one: the lover, the nurturer, the gentleman, and the friend. Men are so scared to like hear that word nurture or lover, and like we connotate it with negative things. For example, if like lover boy, certified lover boy, this was actually an example he used in the book. The album cover for Certified Lover Boy is a group of pregnant women. So we're connotating being a lover with sex, and that's not always the case. Sex isn't always love because there's lust in the world and there's also unwanted situations. So don't see yourself as a lover from the perspective of sex. See yourself as the lover of how you treat people, how you nurture people. And going into that nurture right there, everybody can be nurturing. Just because we're not nurturing in the same way as women doesn't mean men cannot be nurturing. For example, consoling people. You know, if you got a son or a daughter and your son or daughter is crying, you could nurture them in a way that is not just like a woman consoling them like, oh, son, don't worry about this. This is something that's a fleeting moment. Just spending time with the people you love and like being there without being aggressive towards them. For example, oh, stop crying, men don't cry, stop being a bitch. Like that's not really nurturing. That's not helping nobody. That's just creating a wall where they're like, okay, I can't come to this person, I can't come to my father with this because he's just gonna call me a bitch, or he's not gonna listen to what I'm feeling or what I gotta say. You feel me? And that was basically what that group of chapters was about. Cause it does have, there are chapters, but they're like also divided into parts. So the first part with the fighter, the provider, the leader, that was the first part of the book. The second part of the book was that right there that I was telling you, and one part I actually glossed over was the friend. So it's like about building strong connections. Don't be scared to build strong connection with people that you could trust. Because there's a lot of people in the world that be like, they don't got no friends, they don't got nobody they could turn to. Find those connections. They're useful connections to have. Find somebody that you would lay your life on the line for, and somebody that's going to lay their life on the line for you. Whenever you feel lonely, somebody you could just go to and talk to and get out that lonely space. Because when you're in that lonely space, you're creating desperation in your mind, and you just want anything to fill that void. But if you have a consistent friend that's always there, you won't need that desperation to fill that void. You feel me? And part three was the three chapters put into this chapter was the husband, the father, and the son. And this goes back to where I was telling y'all, like, a lot of people are so quick to give up on love and like marriage and stuff, but it's about like with your wife specifically, working through things with her, understanding where a lot of your frustrations come from, and how you can work with your wife to get to a certain point where y'all don't have to really not worry, because worry comes and fights happen, but it's about how you approach fights. Don't go into a fight with anger. As I said earlier, a strong point from earlier, always lead with love. Do everything you do with love, especially if that's your wife, especially if you have a family with the person, kids and all this. If in a moment you're so angry where you know you might say something you might regret, take that moment, take that breath. Or if you know your wife is super frustrated and she may say something you might regret, walk away and revisit this later. Try not to let the days end without talking about it though, because then you don't want to go to bed angry and wake up angry. You feel me? It's something that you always gotta get over. And when it comes to being a father, I already mentioned the points, how to be nurturing to not only your daughters and your sons. Don't try to live vicariously through your children either. Like, let your children be dumb, but support them by the way. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't make some decisions for your kids, because sometimes you do know best. As much as kids don't want to hear it, sometimes parents do know best, because I know from experience. There's a lot of things I was right about as a son that my parents weren't right about, and there were some things that my parents could have been right about that I was just like, you don't know what you're talking about, old head. I didn't say that to my parents. Don't say that to your parents, but that was how I felt in the moment. And then going back to the son chapter to me was maybe one of the most important chapters in the book because it's basically because when I first went into it, I'm like, like what does being a son have to do with like being a man? But it's basically about like letting go of grudges that you hold with your parents. Going back to everything that I've said throughout the whole chapters, like these are examples. He's given examples of what you should do, but nobody's perfect. As a parent, you're gonna slip up, and that's where the importance of noticing where you slipping up comes into effect because you don't want to continue to repeat those mistakes once you made them. You want to identify them, try to mend them, and then continue forward with your children or your parents or whatever. So noticing where you may picked up some habits from your parents is very important, and also being able to forgive your parents is very important because at the end of the day, when your parents are on their deathbeds, your thoughts aren't going to be, you did this to me when I was younger, you did that to me when I was younger. Your thoughts are going to be, how can we spend these final moments that we have together? How can we move forward? How could we spend your last moments in bliss and peace and happiness? You feel me? But again, I really do recommend this book. This might be one of my favorite books that I've read since I started my little reading journey. I haven't done a review on all the books I've read, but this one definitely felt worth it. I'll definitely put this over The Power of Now. It's an amazing book. Amazing book. Shout out to Jason Wilson. I know you probably never gonna watch this, but he really did his big one on this one. This was like everything I've been looking for because I have gone into like the red pill. I'm not red pill. I don't hate women. I'm not doing none of that. But I mean, like I had gone through I'm still going through a situation where I want self improvement, but red pill is not self improvement. It is being stuck in that negative space. This was like red pill for me without the negativity, negative. I don't know what word I was looking for. If y'all know the word, leave it down in the comment section below. But connotations, boom. I knew I had it in me. I've been reading all these books. There's no way I ain't got it in me. But negative connotations, and it's really a self-improvement book for men. But if you're a woman and you're watching this, I'm not gonna lie, you should definitely also read this as well, because it could give you it could put you in the shoes of a man. Like I was saying earlier, like as a leader, you want to put yourself in the shoes of the people you surround yourself with. As a woman, if you want a husband, if you're having a son, whatever, you want to be able to see things from their perspective too, because it will help you have a clear mind when addressing some of the problems that y'all may have. But that's all I'm gonna say for today, and I hope y'all have a blessed night, man. Take care of yourselves.